Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we'll be reviewing a 2022 BMW M850i. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the BMW of Pleasant Grove, Utah for giving me some time with this 8 Series. This one is available for sale right now if you're interested. Something that's awesome about the BMW of Pleasant Grove is they do not charge over sticker for any new cars. So if you want to get a great deal on a new BMW, definitely check them out. Link to their inventory in the description down below. On a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. So under the hood we have a twin turbo 4.4 liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 523 horsepower and then 553 pound-feet of torque. And I love the overall engine display, how it says M Performance. You got the carbon fiber print. It's pretty symmetrical as well with like everything under the hood. It just looks really cool. Now first off, this 8 Series is finished in Tanzanite Blue to Metallic, which is a really cool color. Basically a fancy name for a very beautiful dark metallic blue. We've got the BMW logo front and center just like other BMWs. Now we've got the daytime running lights with BMW's laser LED headlamps. I love how you have like the little blue accent piece there with the laser headlamps. But yeah, really distinctive look, looks really sharp and aggressive. We've got some venting here down below, and then we've got BMW's signature front grille here with the camera there in the center, and you can see more venting down below with the sensor. I think they've integrated, you know, all the safety tech like the sensor and the camera, all that kind of stuff, and the parking sensors very well with the front end, so it doesn't get in the way of the styling. Also, I love how it's just like hollow right here on the side, just goes through. That looks so cool. Coming on the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front, and then two 75mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the back. And then if we go over the overall design and coloration on the wheel, I think it looks fantastic. More spokes, in my opinion, on a luxury car is kind of for the best because it just looks super intricate. You got the silver there on the top. We have the blue M color, which is actually pretty close to the paint color in this particular car, so definitely matches up very, very nicely. And then you guys can see the parking sensor there off to the side, and then notice with the accent piece right here, you guys can see two-tone mirrors with the body color portion on the top, and then all the trim around the windows has been blacked out. And now you can see from a full side view perspective, yeah, the wheels make sense, right? Looks cool. Now here's a key fob. We have our unlock function or lock function in the opening here for the trunk, so we'll hold that down and then it'll pop it right open. Now popping into the rear, first off you guys can see we have a bunch of goodies with this from brand new, including a first aid kit. Now storage space is actually pretty decent. Now I just reviewed a 3 Series right before this, which is a smaller car, and this is a little bit bigger than the 3 Series, but not a huge amount actually. And then notice here with the seats, so you can fold those down. And yeah, when you're all done, they actually have a button right here you can press and you can lower that right down. Pretty cool. Now let's finish things up with the rest of the rear. So you guys can see the super distinctive taillights here. We've got our xDrive badge, or M850i. Parking sensors here along the rear. I love the covers for the exhaust tips. Super aggressive. You guys are going to love the sound of this. And then also notice with the diffuser. And, well, there's the rest of the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. Notice we've got beautiful leather here at the top with the contrasted stitching. Then we have more leather, but it's brown instead, and then you got more contrasted stitching throughout. And then really nice with the door handle design. Got the Harman Kardon sound system speakers, which are very nicely integrated. And then notice we got controls for like the sunshade, for example, here in the rear, and then the regular window control. Living the life of luxury back here. And if you guys are wondering, that's what it looks like when the sunshade is up. I'll give you guys a closer look in a second. But look how beautiful these seats are. Just amazing leather here, even onto the side here, which is normally plastic in most cars. Really nice leather. You can see the padding on it's great. Perforations. Let's pop in. Ooh, legroom's pretty good. Yeah, headroom's great as well. And then you got our little storage pocket right here. And then you can see we've got some vents back here. USBs. We have heated seats in the back. We've got our climate controls as well. And then we have this like armrest slash cup holder situation. Look at the material use though. Again, feels very high end, that is for sure. And then there's a quick look at the sunshade. And look, you actually have this little like shelf back here I guess you could use as even more storage space if you wanted, perhaps. It doesn't look like it could hold a bunch of weight, but anyways, let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You guys can see again with the leather and then the contrast of stitching, and then down below, just like the back, and then more speakers for that Harman Kardon sound system. And then notice here, blind spot monitoring for the mirror. You've got all of our window controls here, that for the sunshade. And then you can see there for the trunk release, M850i. And then here's the front seat, again, perforations. You can see all down the center as well. And then notice the adjustments there on the side. Pedal layout, which looks really nice. Got our light controls here. Notice it's kind of like face towards the driver, which is pretty cool. Steering wheel's power adjustable. Let's pop in. So before I go over the steering wheel, something I want to mention that is really cool that I've never seen in a car before is look at the door panel, and then look at next to the door panel. You have more like nice material use here, even in the center portion, that you're never really going to look at, so that it all matches. And then even the pillar here, really nice material use. I don't know, I just think that that's really cool attention to detail. Anyways, here is the steering wheel. So again, really nice leather trim all around. Got darker stitching there, got our M logo, heated steering wheel controls for like, you know, phone control, voice command control, paddle shifters here on the back. And then we have our cruise control with the lane centering assistance. And then notice with the airbag cover how it has the stitching, the BMW logo. Turn signal, stock, windshield wiper stock, all the normal stuff, and there you go. So sorry about the glare on the gauge cluster. I tried my best to angle the car so that there would be as little as possible. But basically, you can just see like there's like the fuel gauge over there, and then it shows the speed, the time, all that kind of stuff. Little map here in the center, and then we have the RPMs on the other side. Now, something that's cool about BMW's gauge cluster is, well, it's fully digital, so when I change the different drive modes, it'll let me know what drive mode I'm in, but it also changed the gauge cluster too with the drive mode, which is pretty cool how it changes. Now, funny enough, when I go to the Eco Pro, it actually slows down the climate controls because it's trying to save on fuel, which is just super cool that you can just press the drive mode button and then actually changes things up. And then when I put it back in comfort, well, fan speed and everything goes back up. That's interesting. Now here's the infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we can see we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. Let's see if I go to drive. Yeah, so it keeps on the camera, which is pretty cool. But also we have that bird's eye view as well, which will obviously help out. And you've got like the camera image button, which you can like customize everything. This is something I love about BMWs, is how like when you have it, you know, in reverse, you can quickly like change things on the camera system so you can see exactly what you want to see. I just think that's a nice little feature to have. Now, popping to the rest of the infotainment system, we have our shortcut bar here on the side. We've got the main screen. As you can see, response time with the screen is fantastic. And basically it shows you different bits of information on like the vehicle, for example. You've got like your navigation, all that stuff. So pretty easy to use, pretty self-explanatory overall, and it's nicely integrated into the dash here. So we have our analog control here for like the hazard lights, that's for the safety tech, and then our screen for the dual zone climate controls. And then look at like the controls here for the vent. It's really nice. But yeah, dual zone climate system, heated cooled seats for the front. You've got this where you can just hover over for the presets, which is pretty cool. And coming down here, you guys can see, look at that, we got a little M logo on the phone charger, USB port, couple cup holders right here, and look at the high gloss finish on the wood trim. And then we got the crystal shifter that BMW puts in their like higher end models, which is pretty cool, and it actually has like an 8 in it. And then we have our stability control. This is for the camera to pop that on, parking sensors, auto stop start if you want to turn that off. You got your stop start button, and then all of your drive modes with individual buttons for each of them, which I really appreciate. And then notice we got our auto hold, parking brake. This is the analog control for the infotainment system, so if you don't want to use the touchscreen, you can use this little dial, which looks very premium. And look at the center console here, very spacious. Again, I love the material use inside with this. And then look at color matches down below as well, which is pretty cool. And look at the material use on the dash, right? Tons of leather. And pretty normal glove box setup. Ooh, there's even padding on the outside of the glove box. That's nice. And then popping up top, we have a pretty cool center situation, so you can see the control for the sunroof. So we have the one sunroof here in the front, and then we also have one for the rear passengers as well. And you guys can see really nice headliner, and it's like all over. So like everything that you look at from a material standpoint here inside of the 8 Series just looks and feels very premium. So here's a window sticker for this 8 Series. Here's the base price. So I guess it's technically not $100,000, you know, in base format, because it's $99,900. That's pretty funny. Also warranty information, 4-year, 50,000 mile new vehicle warranty. Now this has some options, then some credits as well. So I guess no wireless charging with this particular one. But anyways, total MSRP $107,515. Let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and again, I love the dash. Heads-up display, hopefully you can see that now. Both the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring. And then throughout the rest of the rear, this interior is so beautiful, by the way. Anyways, let's set off. So, setting off here in the 8 Series, and let me tell you, I am shocked by this car. It's a very interesting car, and we'll kind of talk about the story of this car in just a moment. But the reason I'm shocked is just how nice this is. And I'm not saying that because it's a BMW. I'm saying that because of the price point this is at and the segment this is in. This is, you know, kind of supposed to compete against like Porsche Panamera, for example, but this is extremely like less expensive compared to a Porsche Panamera, especially when you look at their like higher end packages from a performance and interior perspective. So yeah, BMW has definitely undercut Porsche by a massive amount, or I should say Porsche. But let's talk about the 8 Series, how it drives. Very comfortable from a ride quality perspective, like exceptionally comfortable. Let me make sure I'm in the comfort setting. Yeah, so I'm in the comfort setting, and yeah, it's just great. Now adaptive is probably what you're going to drive it in most of the time, so that it just adapts to whatever driving situation that you are currently in, right? Hence the name with it. But yeah, it's like a luxury daily driver. This is such a nice car. There's so many adjustments on the seats too, which is great. Definitely love that. Yeah, I really like, I love the setup of this. Cabin's really well insulated. You guys heard the exhaust clip. This thing sounds monstrous. Such a beautiful, aggressive tone. And this V8 is just so powerful. Let's pop into the Eco Pro and see how it feels. The thing about the Eco Pro mode in the BMWs, it'll actually save you on gas quite a bit. The car drives significantly different. All new BMWs, it seems like, have that like little mild hybrid system. And so when you go into the Eco Pro, it kind of relies more heavily on that, it looks like, to kind of keep the engine off as long as it can. And yeah, so it's smooth, it's quiet, and it's weird. Like, this feels like a different car. When you change the drive mode in other cars, it doesn't really change it all that much, but this, it actually feels like a different car. Look at that cool hot rod. And by the way, we're in sport mode. Wow. Let's see, let's put it in manual mode. Oh, that V8. Just listen to that engine. Man, I am so impressed. You guys heard the exhaust clip earlier. Downshifting for me actually in automatic mode. That's cool. Yeah, this is such a fun car, and it's so planted. Like, the suspension is so well sorted out, as car journalists say. We'll pop back into comfort mode now. But yeah, it's quick. It is quick. I really like this car. I really do. So let's sum things up here with the 8 Series. And, you know, first off, exterior wise, I think it's a great looking car, right? It's got BMW's normal styling, but, you know, in this like 4-door coupe kind of like sexy look, basically, I think it looks great. And then interior's really nice, really high quality. Now here's the deal. I've reviewed a few Porsche Panameras. I also have reviewed the new Mercedes AMG GT 4-door, and both of those, you know, are kind of in this segment this is competing in, but they're way more expensive. Like the AMG GT 4-door that I reviewed that's in this segment was like a 43, so it had less power than this by a significant amount. The interior wasn't as nice, right? There's some bits of Mercedes that are pretty cool from an interior perspective, but the point I'm trying to make is this undercuts everything in the segment. And I don't see a downside to this car, other than like some people might be brand snobs and they're like, I only drive Porsche, I only drive Mercedes, right? So if you take away the brand snobbery and you just look at what this is a fast, fun, comfortable, luxurious car that is nicer than its competitors at a significantly lower cost. And so there's not a downside to the 8 Series, right? All that Porsche and Mercedes are really doing in this segment is badge engineering, frankly. So yeah, this is a secret $100,000 value, if you could say that. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 8 Series. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the BMW of Pleasant Grove for giving me some time with this 8 Series. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in that next video.